Osho Talks. Silence shared in words. Audiobook by Osho International. The Buddha Said by Osho. Chapter 17. The Eightfold Way.
The Buddha said, "Those who follow the way are like unto warriors who fight single-handed with a multitude of foes. They may all go out of the fort in full armor, but among them are some who are faint-hearted, and some who go halfway and beat a retreat, and some who are killed in the affray, and some who come home victorious. O monks, if you desire to attain enlightenment, you should steadily walk in your way, with a resolute heart, with courage, and should be fearless in whatever environment you may happen to be, and destroy every evil influence that you may come across, for thus you shall reach the goal."
Gautama, the Buddha, has no leaning towards abstraction, philosophy or metaphysics. He is very practical, down-to-earth practical. He is very scientific. His approach is not that of a thinker. The approach is existential. When he attained and became a Buddha, it is said the god of the gods, Brahma, came to him and asked him, "Who is your witness? You declare that you have become a Buddha, but who is your witness?" Buddha laughed and touched by his hand the earth and said, "This earth, this solid earth is my witness." He is very earthy. He made the earth his witness. He could have said so about the sky. But no. He could have said so about the sun or the moon or the stars. But no. He touched the earth and said, "This solid earth is my witness." His whole approach is like that. Before we enter into these sutras, his basic steps have to be understood. Buddha's way is called the Eightfold Way. He has divided it into 8 divisions. Those divisions are arbitrary, just utilitarian. The way is one. It is not really divided. It is divided so that you can understand it easily. And this is very fundamental. If you can understand these 8 steps or 8 divisions of the way will open just in front of you. You are already standing on it, but not aware. Your mind is wandering somewhere. The way is in front of you. So try to understand these 8 steps as deeply as possible. The first is right view. And all these 8 steps are concerned with rightness. right view, right intention, right speech, right morality, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and the eighth and the ultimate right samadhi. The word right has to be understood first, because the Sanskrit word samyak is so meaningful, is so pregnant with meaning, that it cannot be translated. Right is a very poor translation about it, for many reasons. First, the right immediately gives the idea as if it is against the wrong. The samyak never gives that idea. The samyak is not against the wrong. Buddha's right is not against the wrong, because Buddha says, wrongs are many, right is one. So how the right can be against the wrongs? Health is one, diseases are many. There are not as many healths as there are diseases. So health cannot be against the diseases. Otherwise, there will be so many healths. Somebody is suffering from TB and then he becomes healthy. Somebody is suffering from cancer and he becomes healthy. And somebody is suffering from flu and he becomes healthy. These three healths are not three healths. The diseases were different, but health is one. And one cannot be against the many. Exactly the same is true about right and wrong. Right is one. Wrongs are millions. You can go on inventing wrongs. Right cannot be invented. It does not depend on you. Right is a state of affairs where you are in tune with the whole. That is the meaning of health too. When you are in tune with the whole, you are healthy. The music flows between you and the whole. There is no obstruction. You feel a well-being. There is no noise. Everything is in harmony. When the individual is in tune with the universal, the right exists, the health exists. When you fall out of tune, then so many wrongs arise. There is no limit to them. They are endless. And you can invent new wrongs. Humanity has invented many new diseases which were not prevalent before. In the old scriptures, Ayurvedic scriptures, many diseases are not mentioned. People think they are not mentioned because Ayurveda was not yet a science enough. So they could not diagnose those diseases. That is not true. Ayurveda became a perfect science. But those diseases were not in existence. So how can you diagnose a disease which doesn't exist? They were non-existential. There were few diseases which existed only for rich people, very rich people. They were called rial diseases. Tuberculosis was called rial. It was not an ordinary disease. Now the whole world has become rial. Now the whole world suffers. Richness, affluence, leisure has made many things available, many new diseases available. Cancer is a very new disease. It can exist only when the mind is very much worried. When worry becomes like a wound, and around that subtle wound in the psyche arises a disease in the body corresponding to it. That's what cancer is. That's why cancer seems to be incurable. There is no way to cure it from the body side. It can be cured only from the mind side, because basically it arises there. Each age has its own diseases. Each age has its own vices. And each age invents its own sins. But virtue is ageless, timeless. The sainthood has nothing to do with any age, time, period. It is not historical. It is existential. Buddha says right is that which is not your invention. It is already there. If you go away from it, you are wrong. If you come close to it, you are right. The more close you are, the more right you are. One day, when you are exactly come home, you are perfectly right. Samyak and samadhi both come from the same root, sam. Samyak is the step towards samadhi. If you don't understand samyak, you will not be able to understand samadhi. So 7 steps ultimately lead to the final step. Samadhi means now everything has fallen in tune with existence. Not a fila exists. The music is utterly perfect. But there is no better word in English than right. So you have to understand it. Right in the Buddhist meaning of the term means balanced, centered, grounded, harmonious, tranquil, all these things. But the basic thing can be understood even if there is no synonymous term in English to translate it. But remember, it has nothing to do with wrong. Wrong is a human invention, right is divine. Right is not something that you have to do. You were born right. Wrong is something that you have to do. You were not born wrong. Every child is born in harmony. That's why children are so beautiful. Have you ever seen a baby who is ugly? It doesn't happen. All babies are beautiful. But all grown-ups are not beautiful. So something somewhere must have gone wrong, because all babies were beautiful. They had a grace, a tremendous elegance, which has nothing to do with any practice, because they had no time to practice anything. They come into the world without any rehearsal. They are just there, so happy, so silent, so harmonious. Such grace surrounds them, as if the whole existence is protective towards them. Then by and by they learn the ways of man and become wrong. Then ugliness appears. Then beautiful eyes can become horrible. Then beautiful face can become criminal. Then a beautiful body can lose all grace. Then a beautiful intelligence. Every child is born intelligent. That's how things are. An intelligent child can become stupid, mediocre. These are human achievements. The wrong is a human achievement. The right is divine. You are not to do anything for it. You have only to stop all that you have been doing to create the wrong. And when there is right, You don't feel you are right. That's why I repeat again, it is not against wrong. When you are in the right, you are simply natural. You don't have any feeling of being righteous. You don't have any feeling that I am a great saint. If you have that feeling, then you are still wrong somewhere. Because the ego is a jarring note. It does not allow the music to flow. The right means balanced, non-tense, centered. You are not a stranger in existence. That's what right means. You are at home. This existence is your family. You are not an alien. In the West and in the East too, the modern mind continuously talks and thinks about alienation. That man has become an outsider. That man has become a stranger. That we seem to be just like accidents on earth. Existentialists have the right word for it. They say we have been thrown here. Thrown? Dumped. Expelled. Punished. And this existence is against us. And you can prove it. So many diseases, death is there, so many frustrations, failures. People go on saying man proposes and God disposes. So of course man is doomed from the very beginning. Is born with great desires and without any possibility of any fulfillment ever. How can this existence be your home? It can't be your family. The right is when you start feeling that you are at home. Nothing is aligned, nothing is strange. Buddha says, if you are wrong. Because whenever you are separate from existence. When you are not, you are right. Listen to this paradox. It is one of the most beautiful paradoxes. Buddha says, when you are wrong. Your being is being wrong. The very separation that I am creates a barrier. Then you don't melt. Then you become frozen. Then you are like an ice cube. Dead. Closed. Then you have a boundary. When you start melting and you start feeling the existence is, and I am just a part, and you relax, and there is a let go, you disappear, then you are right. When you are not, you are right. These 8 steps are just indicators by and by how to come to that tremendous courage, that ultimate courage where you take the quantum leap and you simply disappear. When the self disappears, the universal self arises. The first is right view. Buddha says, look at things without any opinion. Otherwise, you never look at reality. Look at things without any philosophy, without any prejudice, without any dogma, creed, scripture. Just look. Look at things as they are. Be factual. Don't create a fiction. If you are looking for something with a prejudice, you will find it. That is the trouble. If you are already full of a belief, You will find it. Because the mind is so creative, so imaginative, so capable of auto-hypnosis that whatsoever it believes, it can create. Buddha says, go to reality without any belief. Belief is the barrier. You must have watched it. If you are born a Hindu, that means if you are being conditioned from your childhood by Hindus, that means if you are a victim of Hinduism, and the same applies to Mohammedans and Christians, Jews, Jains, communists, the whole humanity is a victim of this school or that, of this prejudice or that, of this belief or that. If you are born a Hindu, being conditioned in certain dogmas, and you start meditating, you will start seeing visions of Krishna, Rama. It depends whom you have been taught, who has been enforced and engraved in your mind. But Christ will never come to you. Christ comes to a Christian. Buddha comes to a Buddhist. Mahavira comes to a Jaina. To a Jaina, Muhammad can never come. It is impossible. Even to conceive the idea is impossible. Even in a dream, Muhammad will not come to a Jaina. What is happening? Are these Buddhas, Mahaviras, Christs really coming? Or your own belief is creating them? Your own belief is creating them. To a communist, nobody comes. His belief that all religion is nonsense, opium for the people, a dangerous poison to be get rid of as soon as possible, then nobody comes. It depends on you. If you have a belief, that very belief becomes a dream. And if you are very, very sensitive, receptive, that dream can look more real than the reality. In fact, this happens every day, even in non-religious people. You dream in the night, and when you dream, the dream looks so real. And you have dreamed your whole life, and every morning you cancel it as unreal, but again next night you dream, and in dream again it seems real. The dreaming faculty lives on belief. If you have a strong belief, then the dreaming faculty joins with the belief, pours its energy into the belief, makes the belief a reality, and you start having visions. Buddha is not in favor of any visions, because he says that which needs no vision. It needs simply clarity to see. Your mind need not have any dreams, great dreams of great saints, heaven and hell. These are all your creations. Right view is having no prejudice, having no belief, having no opinion whatsoever. Difficult. Buddha's path is arduous. He demands too much. Almost seems to be a superhuman feat, but it is possible, and that is the only way towards truth. If you have any opinion, you will impose your opinion on the truth. You do it every day. If you come to me with an opinion that this man is good, you will go convinced that this man is good. If you come with the opinion this man is bad, you will go convinced this man is bad. Your belief will always find that which it wants to find. Belief is very selective. I have heard the boy had been brought into court again, charged with stealing auto hubcaps. The magistrate determined to appeal to his father. See here, said the judge, this boy of yours has been in this court many times charged with theft, and I am tired of seeing him here. I don't blame you, judge, said the father, and I am just as tired of seeing him here as you are. Then why don't you teach him how to act? Show him the right way, and he would not be coming here. I have already showed him the right way, said the father, but he just does not seem to have any talent for learning. He always gets caught. Now, the right way is different for the judge and for the father. The father himself is a thief. He also wants the boy to learn the right way so that he is never caught again. But his right way is his right way. For a holiday, Mulevi decided to go to Switzerland to fulfill a lifelong dream and climb the Matterhorn. He hired a guide, and just as they neared the top, the men were caught in a snow slide. 3 hours later, a Saint Bernard plowed through to them, a keg of brandy tied under his chin. Hooray, shouted the guide. Here comes man's best friend. Eh, said Mulevi, and look at the size of the dog that is bringing it. Now, for one, the dog is the greatest friend of humanity. For the other, it is the bottle that he is bringing. Said Mulevi, and look at the size of the dog that is bringing it. It depends how you look at things. You can see at the same thing, and you may not be seeing the same thing. If you are listening to me in trust, you listen differently. If you are listening to me with disbelief, you listen to me differently. If you are listening as a disciple, you listen differently. If you are listening just as an outsider, a visitor, just by the way, may have come with a friend, you listen differently. What I say is the same, but how you will interpret it will depend on you. The right listening will be that you listen as nobody, neither far nor against, with no prejudice, just listening. If you can see at things without any idea in the mind, then Buddha says it is a right view. The right view needs no conceptualization. That's why Buddha says, don't ask me any theoretical questions. He does not say anything about God. Not that God is not. He does not say anything about it because it is pointless to create a theory. He tries to open your eyes to it. He says, to know the truth, you need eyes. Just as you cannot teach a blind man, howsoever hard you try, that what is a light like, you cannot teach a blind man anything about the light. Of course, you can teach as much as you want, and he may learn all the information that you deliver to him, but still, in reality, he will not be able to conceive what light is. He cannot conceive. It happened, a blind man was brought to Buddha. He was passing from the village, and the people of the village were tired of the blind man because he was very logical and very philosophical. And he was so argumentative that he used to prove that the light exists not. Because he will say, you just bring it, I would like to touch it. Or you bring it, I can taste it. Or you bring it, at least let me smell it. Or you bring it and beat it like a drum so I can hear it. Of course, you cannot beat light like a drum, and you cannot taste it, and you cannot smell it, and you cannot touch it. And the blind man will laugh with victory. And he will say, you fools, you are trying to prove something to me which is not. I have got 4 senses. Prove it. I am ready, I am open. They could not prove it. So the blind man started thinking that they are just trying to befool him about this light. The whole business is just a deception, a fraud. In fact, they want me to prove that I am blind. They are insulting me. I am not blind because light exists not. So what is the point? If light exists not, eyes need not be there. Eyes are just a fiction. He would say, you are all blind, but you are dreaming about something which exists not. They brought the man to Buddha, and Buddha said, don't bring him to me, but I know a physician. Because he needs no conviction. He needs a vision of light. He needs eyes. He needs treatment. He needs no theory about it. But I know a physician, and Buddha had a very learned physician. It was given to him by an emperor to look after Buddha's body. The blind man was taken to the physician. He treated him, and within 6 months he was able to see. Buddha had moved by that time to another town. He came running and dancing. He was ecstatic. He fell in Buddha's feet and he said, you convinced me. Buddha said, don't talk nonsense. I have not done anything. Your eyes have convinced you, and there is no other way. Buddha used to say, I am not a philosopher, I am a physician. I would like to treat your inner eyes. And the first step is right view. Right view really means a mind without views. If you have any view, it is wrong view. If you don't have any view, then you are simply open, clear. Then your window is completely open. You don't have any hindrance. Whatsoever is available, you will be able to see it. Buddha never says anything about that which you will see. He only talks about how to treat your blindness, how to get out of your blindness. Mullah Nasruddin's son, studying political science, asked his father, Dad, what is a traitor in politics? Any man who leaves our party, said the mullah, and goes over to the other one is a traitor. Well, what about a man who leaves his party and comes over to yours? Asked the young man. He would be a convert, son, said Nasruddin, a real convert. Now, when somebody goes from your party to another party, he is a traitor. And when somebody comes from the other party to yours, he is a convert. When a Hindu becomes a Christian, to Hindus he is a traitor. To Christians he is a convert. And when a Christian becomes a Hindu, they welcome him. His understanding is back. He has realized what truth is. To Christians, he is a traitor. If you live with views, you cannot see the truth of anything. Your view always comes as a barrier. It obstructs. It distorts. It does not allow you to see things as they are. And God is that which is. To know the real, you need not have any views. In fact, if you really want to know the real, you have to drop the views. That is the first renunciation Buddha teaches. Drop all views and the right view will arise. All views are wrong views. The Hindu, the Christian, the Buddhist, all views are wrong views. A man without views, a man without opinion, a man with not a thought to cling to, a man who is just a mirror, reflects reality. The woman heard the preacher go through the commandments, and after every commandment, she joined the rest of the audience in shouting, Amen. When he came to the commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, she said, now he is beginning to meddle. Something looks absolutely right until it fits with you. As if you are the touchstone of truth. As if you are the criterion of truth. The moment it is not fitting with you, it is wrong. This is a wrong approach. And if you have this approach, you will never arrive to that which is real. If something is not fitting with you, then don't be in a hurry to settle the matter that it must be wrong because it doesn't fit with me. It need not fit with you. God has no obligation to fit with you. Reality has no obligation to fit with you. If it is not fitting with you, then a man of right understanding will change himself rather than denying the reality. So whenever it hurts, and whenever reality hurts, and whenever you feel that you are an unfit, it is you who are unfit, not the reality. And a man who has no views will never find that there is any conflict between him and the reality. Always he will fit with the reality and reality will fit with him, just like glove fits with the hand. This is right view. The second step is right intention.
And guys, would you like to come back? So, would anyone feel guided to share?
It reminds me of well, Eckhart Tolle sometimes says, look without labeling. It sounds like the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly. No, this is we are in Atole, we are in now. And here we are on the Eightfold Path. We talk many times. I totally agree with you that all teachings, great teachings, are the same. And here Osho pointed so many like stunning, how to say, like to me it's truth. What does it mean to be right? But, I always thought that yes, I'm right and somebody should be wrong. And do you remember what he said, how he defined to be right? It's nothing to do with somebody is wrong. It's nothing to do with it. Because if we have our opinion, we are wrong. We think that we are right, but we are wrong simply because we have an opinion. So being right, it means balanced, grounded, harmonious. And harmonious with whom? With somebody who are you talking? Of course not. Harmonious and balanced with the reality. To me, it's like tuning my brain. To me, it's fascinating. And now we use Eckhart Tolle, how he said, do not listen with your mind, listen with your heart. What I'm repeating what Osho said, basically what Buddha said, it's Buddha's teaching. And I'm asking my heart, and 100% my heart is saying, yes, that's correct. So I don't need any other person to prove me that it's correct. I know that this is truth. And actually, when Buddha said, do not believe to anyone, he said, do not believe in even me. To whom to believe? Just to your heart. Any other sharings? What do you like about it?
Well, as a Christian, and again, maybe as a Christian, it's not within the Buddhist approach, but I think of Jesus's believe in me, and it seems to me like well, because I believe that Jesus is the incarnation of God and humanity's access to God. I suppose I do. It is a bit of a difference to me, the idea that you can just perceive truth in your heart, But again, that's just my little mental struggle with that thought.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Roger. It's a very different approach, and there is no right or wrong. And thank you for bringing that so straightforward. And how I said last time, I don't remember who said that truth doesn't belong to anyone. So this was one point of view. You have different point of view. I have different point of view. Louis, Katiba, Stella has different. They have different points of view. And when we are one, that will be God. This is not about that you are only right and we are wrong. This is not about that Katiba is right only and we are wrong. Hindus are only right and the rest is wrong. Christianity so far. This would be again wrong. We are all right, and all together we are one.
I mean, strictly speaking, I suppose you can't say that he if you have a affinity to Buddha, you couldn't necessarily say that he denies the existence, the potential existence of God incarnated into human flesh. I mean, you couldn't say of Buddha that he would deny that for sure. In other words, he taught us to think spiritually, but he didn't exclude, you know. So if the Christian is saying, that God incarnated into flesh, and through that flesh, through that human personality, which is one with God's personality, we have access to all divine truth through a relationship with that personality. Um, I can't say that Buddha would have denied that, or that he denied that. I can only say that he is just another source of spiritual orientation, you might say. That's just how I look at it. So I don't deny, I don't find any argumentation about it. I don't find any argument with it. It's just how I see it, you know. I happen to
Exactly.
buy into the interpretation. I happen to have a conception of the Judeo-Christian uh, truth, or conception of spirituality, as God as Trinity and God as incarnated into flesh, etc., etc. But I'm not going to bombard anyone with that. You know, it's just something that makes sense to me, and but I also admire Buddha. I put in the chat here an audiobook just for you, just for
Yeah,
you
thank you.
to look at. It's an audiobook where I encountered in the past. I like the way it's spoken, and it's directly Buddha's teachings. So my orientation, what I like in a group is the direct teaching, as directly as possible from the teacher himself, and discussion, so yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you. This meeting I actually planned for 1 hour all week. Would you like to say something? Please go ahead.
Well, I'll be quick. I really like that line where Osho says, I taught him, but he always gets caught. And
Yes.
that was beautiful because it's like the judge has one view of what's
Mhm.
right, the parent has another view of what's right. And Osho's saying, just drop all those views of what's right
Exactly.
and just um, look without opinions, look without beliefs, and just, I love that idea. I love the idea of looking at the world and seeing, just being alive without having any opinions about anything. It would just be so freeing not to have to view everything in right and wrong terms. Okay, that's my share.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. And actually, I don't want to hold you long because this meeting for 1 hour. However, we need to make some like review and summary in order to go into our week. So, what do you remember? So, what does it mean to have right view?
Well, to me, I kind of, my takeaway would be just to watch my thoughts, and anytime a judgment or opinion shows up, say, oh, okay, that's silly. I'm going to go back to just being judgment free.
Yes, it's kind of thought. I agree with you. what exactly to right view. But actually, no, you're correct. You're correct. Um, I just want to be more like factual. Factual, how he said we need to be factual, not fictitious, right? So first, when we look at a thing, we need to see that thing. For example, if I look at something, I know what is that I'm using for. But actually, I never seen the form. I never seen how it's made. I never seen the real details in it. And I mentioned that I was doing it for a while. I won't share what I see right now because I don't want to put my opinion on it. Next week, when we will come together, I will share with you what I see right now. Of course, it's not like 100% change, but I have some change. Then, when we look, for example, at our children and our spouses, at our relatives, what we see first? If, for example, let's take neighbor. If our neighbor is annoying and rude, when I see him, I see right away that I see my opinion. Oh, again he is. I don't see his clothes. I don't see his mood. I don't see what we are talking about. I just see my opinion. And the people can be that way, but they are not all the time that way. But we are carrying our opinion with us. And especially with your close one, if your close one offended you, when you look at your close one, you see right away that offense. Or
I,
if it was good something, it was good. So yes, Roger, just one minute. Uh, So this is how to look, what I got from that. What does it mean to look without any opinion, without any belief? He said the mind is so creative that the mind can create anything what we believe, anything. So this is why Buddha said, I read before that drop all beliefs because all beliefs are barriers. We are a part of this universe. We are a part of reality. We are a part of nature. We are a part of God. We are not separate. To think that we are separate is actually a blasphemy. God is everywhere. God is omnipotent. And we are a part of him. Yes, Roger, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to offer this little thing about right view. I actually was able to remember something said about Jesus, which I think represents a type of right view. And I put it here in chat. It's a parable. One day, Jesus and his disciples were walking in the old city, which had very narrow streets. They came across a carcass of a dead dog. The dog had been dead for a long time, and its rotten stench filled the whole alley. The disciples of Jesus held their noses, picked up the hem of their robes, and tiptoed around the dead creature. One of them said, "Phew, phew, what a horrible stench." Another one said, "The very sight of this makes me sick to my stomach." One by one, they made their way past the dead creature, even as others in town gathered around the carcass to further remark on its hideousness. Jesus and Jesus alone stopped by the dead dog. He kneeled down and lovingly gazed at the dog. After a long pause, he finally said, "Praise be to God, what beautiful teeth this creature has."
Yes, 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 I remember it too.
I don't know if I mentioned it the last time, but
Mm.
this is an example, in my opinion, of the idea of looking at things without judgment,
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
judgment reaction.
Yes, yes, Roger, thank you. Well, anybody else want to add something? And I will add, so also he mentioned about right listening. Listen like nobody, also without opinion. So this is also right view. So he said any view is a wrong view. And view as a belief, belief doesn't allow us to see what reality is. Follow your heart. This is everything but we were conditioned from our childhood. It's just conditioning. Said drop, Buddha said drop all views and the right view will arrive. And the last thing what I like, he said how we react, and it's the situation fits with us. It's a right situation. If the situation doesn't fit with us, oh, it's our own situation. How it's conditioned. And if we are, like we said one time, we are awareness. If we are life, we don't have life, Eckhart Tolle said, we are life. How can we be against life? And how strong we are to be against life? How strong we are to be against God? Okay, for example, for strong believers, everything is beautiful. I don't against everything. For example, for strong believer, I had one time conversation, and I asked, so a person believe in God completely, but she's saying, I'm so worried. And I asked, how do you worry? How can you be worried? Do you believe in God? Do you trust in God? Yes. Then if you are worried, it means you don't trust to God. If you are worried, it means you are taking responsibility of God and yourself. It means you are thinking that God missed some situation. It means if you even sick, it means God wants you to be sick. Say just thank you. Praise God. If something you fail, it means God wanted that. So this is for strong believers. For me, it just simply accept what it is. Be awareness. It's the same. It's the same. We don't need to argue. The same beautiful thing. Just melt in God, melt in awareness, melt in the universe. So are we like I wanted to say in Spanish, más o menos. Are we clear on the right view? I'm very excited that you join me today, and I will feel your practice this week, and will do with you because we are one. I will be stronger with you, and I will practice the right view. And because I did it before, how I mentioned, I'm trying to be in now, enjoying, and but sometimes it's difficult, and especially it's difficult when you're upset, especially if something bother you, wow, then it's very difficult to stay in now. And this was a big help to me. I just started to look at things. I I've seen so many things which I never seen before. So it's 12:12. Are we done for today? Okay. Stella, please feel better. I'm sure you will. A little bit later, but you will. And I will send you more energy. Katie Bear, thank you for joining. And I hope you've heard us, and I know that you're busy. Louis, thank you so much for your participation and the willingness to be with us. Thank you
Yeah,
for all
thank you, Lena.
your insights.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you, Roger. Always pleasure to see you. And I don't see that you would post your meetups,
No,
so you're fine,
I
right?
sort of made a commitment that I will never advertise or mention my stuff because it's just not just this group, but every group that because I feel that I think people have been misunderstanding it. I even though this group welcomes it, I think I'm going to refrain from doing that. It's rather I'd rather like people to if they find me interesting, then reach out to me and then we can develop a communication there. But other than that, I think maybe I can just put my sincere presence in the groups that I visit and 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 let it go from there because um, I think it just for some reason it sets the wrong impression that I'm here with ulterior motives. So, but thank you and I'll come whenever I can.
Roger, I absolutely don't want to like uh, talk you out of it, but can I ask a question? How can we apply right now what we've heard, the right view to what you said right now? So basically, what I see that you had not good encounter, so you had not good situation. And right now, when I offered to put, you said, I won't do that because that. Did you use your view? Did you use your opinion?
Mm, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've just been a little upset at being reacted to that way in the past. I think maybe you're right that I'm allowing the baggage of that negative experience to live on. So, but there'll
Yeah,
be ample
it's not
opportunity.
me. It's not me. It's just what we listen to you. Right view. Look at things without any opinion, like they are brand new.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye bye.